In this video, we will be balancing the equation BaCl2, that is barium chloride, plus H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid, gives BaSO4, barium sulfate, plus HCl, hydrochloric acid. So first of all, we will write down the given chemical equation. Now let us make boxes around these so that we don't end up changing the molecules, the formula for molecules. It is a good practice to make boxes so that we don't end up changing the formula of these molecules. We can only multiply these molecules by any integers like 2, 3 and whatever it needs. So now let's draw a table. Now we have the elements as barium, we have chlorine, we have hydrogen, we have sulfur, and we have oxygen. Now let's count the number of atoms of barium on the LHS. We have one atom on the LHS, so let's write 1, and on the RHS again we have one atom of barium, so we will write 1 on RHS. Now how about chlorine? For chlorine we have Cl2, that is 2 atoms on the LHS, and on the RHS we have only one atom of chlorine. So 2 on the LHS and 1 on the RHS. Now for hydrogen, on the LHS we have 2 of hydrogen, and on the RHS we have only one atom of hydrogen. Now for sulfur, we have 1 on the LHS and 1 on the RHS. One and 1. Now lastly for oxygen, we have O4, that is 4 oxygens, 4 atoms of oxygen on the LHS, also 4 of oxygen on the RHS. So if you see, oxygen, sulfur and barium are already balanced, only chlorine and hydrogen are not balanced. And we know the practice that we keep hydrogen and oxygen for the last. So even if hydrogen is unbalanced here, we will not start with hydrogen, we will start with chlorine. So what we need to do is, we need to make RHS also 2. So we can multiply this chlorine by 2. So we will identify the molecule where chlorine is on the right hand side, and we will multiply that whole molecule by 2. So we will rewrite the equation as here, and we will just multiply this molecule by 2. Okay, so we will count the number of atoms on both sides. Once again, we have barium, chlorine, hydrogen, sulfur and oxygen. Now let us count barium. Now on the LHS we have 1 atom of barium, and on the right hand side also 1 of barium. So we will write 1 on both sides. Now for chlorine, we have Cl2, that is 2 of chlorine on the LHS, and on the right hand side we have Cl, chlorine taken twice, since we have multiplied the molecule by 2. So on both sides we have 2 of chlorine. So we'll write it in our table, 2 on LHS and 2 on RHS. Now for hydrogen, let's count hydrogen. On the LHS we have 2 of hydrogen, and on the RHS we have hydrogen H taken 2 times. So we have 2 of hydrogen on both sides. 2 atoms on the left hand side, 2 atoms on the right hand side. Let's count sulfur now. We have 1 of sulfur on the LHS, 1 on the RHS. So let's write that down. 1, 1. And for oxygen, we have 4 of oxygen in H2SO4 on the LHS. And in the RHS, we have BaSO4 containing 4 oxygen atoms. So both the sides have 4 oxygen atoms. So let us write that down. So if you see, all of our elements are now balanced. So our equation is now balanced. So let us write down the balanced chemical equation. We have BaCl2 plus H2SO4 gives BaSO4 plus 2HCl. So this is our balanced chemical equation.